My name is Miss Christina with the Lafayette Public Library, and today I'm going to teach you how to make these adorable Pom Pom Pets. These are so much fun to make. I have a few here that I've been working on. I have a frog and a chick, and my favorite, a puppy. Now, of course, you can make any animal that you want to make. The nice thing about this is that once you know how to make a basic pom-pom, you can turn it into any animal just by using different colors, making the pom-poms in different sizes, and adding on different features. So, this is going to be fun. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, to make your pom-poms, you will need some yarn. Doesn't need to be anything special. I recommend just a normal medium weight yarn. You might also want to use a pom-pom maker. You can probably find these at just about any craft store. They come in different sizes and they make really great pom-poms. But you do not have to have one of those. You can actually just use things from around the house. Something as simple as a paper towel tube, cut in half will work, or 2 toilet paper tubes. And that's what we're going to use today because I'm sure everybody probably has these around their house. The last thing you'll need for your pom-pom is a good pair of scissors. Now to decorate your pet, just gather whatever craft supplies you have lying around the house. You can use googly eyes, maybe some feathers, pipe cleaners, felt, and just anything else you have lying around. Okay friends, let's make some pom-poms. So grab your toilet paper tubes, or if you're using a paper towel tube, go ahead and cut it in half. And then you will take the end of your yarn and place it between the tubes like this. I like to put a finger in each of the rolls to keep them together. And then just start wrapping the yarn around the tubes. You want your pom-pom to be nice and thick, so you're gonna do this a bunch of times. I think I've wrapped my yarn around the tubes about 100 times. I usually don't count, I kind of just eyeball it, but I think this looks good. Now cut another piece of yarn, maybe about 12 inches in length, and slide that between the tubes. Slide it through one side, turn it over, and then slide it through the other side. And then I kind of just make a loose knot and then slide everything off the tube. Okay, so the purpose of this piece of yarn was to keep everything bundled together as we slid it off the tubes. Now, what I like to do is make a double knot. So I'll kind of like loop it under twice. And then pull as tightly as I can. Tightly as you can without breaking the yarn. And then I like to do that a second time. Okay, and then you can flip it over and do the same thing. Loop it under twice, pull it tight, and then do it a second time. Okay, and here's how it's looking right now. You see all these loops? What you're gonna do next is take your scissors and cut through all of those loops. And I like to kind of shake it out and then go through it again to make sure I didn't miss any. See, I missed all these here. So really look through it, go through it a couple times. Okay, so here is how my pom-pom is looking right now. As you can see, it's really shaggy, it's uneven, kind of limp. Not really the look I'm going for. So, what I'm gonna do now is take my scissors and give it a trim. Now, the first time I did this, I was a little nervous to cut into my pom-pom, but really, you do not have to be afraid. You're not gonna ruin it. You're not gonna accidentally cut too much off. Honestly, the more you cut off, the firmer and the plusher and the better your pom-pom looks. So do not be nervous about it. If this is your first time and you are a little scared, maybe take off just a little bit at a time, but really do not stress. All right, here's how my pom-pom looks after its haircut. It's a lot firmer, it's more plush, it's more dense, and just a lot cuter, I think. I took a lot of yarn off. You can decide how much you want to cut off. Maybe it depends on what you're making. Like this chick that I made, I left the yarn a little longer because I wanted it to look feathery. But you can decide how long you want yours to be. You can also easily make your pom-poms different sizes, like mine here. This is one I made earlier, and it's larger than the one I just now made. And then I use this one as the body, and this one as the head. And by the way, I don't think I told you this, but I'm making a bear. But you can do that by wrapping more or less yarn around your tube, and by changing how wide it is across when you wrap it. You can also make tiny pom-poms, which I will show you how to do as soon as I clean up this mess. All right, here are some little bitty pom-poms I've made for my bear's feet and hands and ears and tail. And there are a couple ways you can make these little bitty pom-poms. The first way is by using a fork. You just wrap the end of your yarn around the tongs like this. You could do that. Or I actually find it easier just to use my fingers. So I will show you how to do that. First, you cut a piece of yarn a few inches in length and put that between your fingers. If you do this now, it's gonna make things so much easier later on. Then you take the end and you start wrapping around your two fingers. I like to use my index finger and my middle finger. Okay, I wrapped the yarn around my fingers 25 times. It's about 1 inch in length, and the thickness is pretty much even all the way across, which is what I want. So I'm just gonna cut that off. Now I'm gonna take this loose piece of yarn and bring it between my fingers like this. This is just gonna help keep the bundle of yarn together as I slide it off my fingers. Now the rest of the process is the same as the one we did before. I'm gonna double knot it, and then I'm gonna pull the ends as tight as I can, and then do the same thing again. Now let's do the same thing on the opposite side. All right, so here's how it's looking. It's basically just a mini version of the one we did with the paper towel roll. Now we're gonna cut through all these loops. Okay, here's how it's looking. It's pretty shaggy, so let's give it a trim. All right, and here is my mini pom-pom. Now that we have all of our pom-poms, let's put them together and turn them into a bear. So a hot glue gun is going to work best for this, And remember, anytime you use a hot glue gun, you will need an adult's supervision. So I'm gonna use my bigger pom-pom for my bear's body, and then the one that's a little smaller is gonna be its head. So I'm just gonna apply some glue here, and then I'm just gonna stick the other pom-pom right on top. Now I'm gonna use these pom-poms for my bear's legs, and I want it to look like he's sitting down, so I'm gonna kind of glue them underneath his body, just slightly. So here is how he's looking so far. Now let's work on his arms. He is coming together, but he needs some ears. Every bear needs ears. So let's add those right on top. Here's how he's looking. Now that everything's together, I can see that he's kind of shaggy, he's uneven in places. So now what I'm gonna do is give him another trim and just kind of clean him up a little bit. All right, here's how he's looking after his haircut. I think he looks a lot better. Now all he needs are a few finishing touches. We'll add some eyes and a mouth, and then he'll be done. What I'm gonna do is cut a circle out of the felt, and then this will kind of be like its lower face. I'm gonna glue a button to it for its nose, and then I will draw on a smile. And here is how my bear turned out. I think he is so cute, and he was so much fun to make. All right, I have all my little pets here in a row, and I just had so much fun making these. I think you really will too. Now, if you're wondering how to make a pom-pom that is more than one color, like my little puppy here, all you do is you wind each color of yarn around the tubes at the same time. You can even tie the ends of the yarn together to make it easier. Everything else is exactly the same. Whoops. So I would love to see all of the animals you make. So be sure to take a picture and post it to the comments for this video on our Facebook page. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Bye.